it was a struggle. Just incredibly humbling. My heart rate had shot up to 190. Started to have stomach cramps, was moving into what I call survival mode. I didn't give up. It was just crazy. Loads of people passed out on the side. Forget the race, just focus on getting to the end without hurting myself. So, in 3 days, I'm going to be running the Boston Marathon. And to give you an insight into what it's like to run one of these marathon major marathons, anyway, one of the biggest marathons in the world. Hopefully you can learn a thing or two, because I have a feeling there are going to be a few challenges along the way. Oh yeah, and I'd be lying if I said I felt physically confident at the moment. However, my goals for this adventure are clear, and that's just to have an incredible experience. Anyway, now it's time to pack. Let's go! So I'm in the terminal waiting for my plane, and I found somewhere quiet. I just quickly want to talk about kind of my mindset going into the race. So I'm having a bit of an issue here, a bit of a dichotomy. Part of me wants to gun it and just push myself and see really just, how fast I can go, whether I can beat my PB. The issue with that is I'm not sure physically I'm really up to it, combined with the jet lag as well. The other part of me, which is tempting, wants to enjoy the experience, take you along for the ride and enjoy it. So I don't really know which way I'm going to go. I think part of me will regret not absolutely gunning it, but I'm not entirely confident. It may just end up in quite a painful time. But anyway, I've got 24 hours of travelling ahead of me and a 14-hour flight now. So that should give me plenty of time to decide what I'm going to do. Okay, so I found somewhere vaguely quiet, but this is the plan for the marathon. So I'm basically going to push it until just under the point of suffering. So hopefully that will kind of be a bit of a compromise, but challenge me physically a little bit, while also allowing me to enjoy the race and take you along for the ride. Yeah, it's a bit of a compromise, but it should be good fun. So LAX is definitely the worst airport I've ever been to. Not only did it take me 2 hours to get through customs, but when going through the detector, it seemed to have found something in my groin area, so I just got patted down where no guy wants to be patted down. So that's fun, and also it's got no food. So we're nearing the end of the shakeout run, and I'd be lying if I felt particularly good. It's been the body feels pretty rusted at the moment. The ankle is a little bit touch and go, but really there's nothing I can do, just focus on recovery. And like I said, the main aim is to enjoy the experience, and I don't necessarily need to have a particularly good working body on the day to do that. So yeah, let's just move on. People look like they're absolutely shitting themselves. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Okay, so yesterday I ran the Boston Marathon, and yeah, it was a struggle. And to be honest, just incredibly humbling. I think I came into it thinking it'd be a bit of an easy jog, and it ended up being probably one of the hardest races of my life. So yeah, let's dive a little bit deeper into it. So let's start at the beginning. So I woke up about 5:30 a.m. Needed to get to Boston Common to jump on a bus, which was just awesome. So many runners, just thousands, and so many buses as well. So because it's a one-way route going into Boston, you essentially picked up on a bus and then basically wave by wave, and I was on the red wave, so the first wave. And we were then ferried to the start in a place called Hopkinton, I believe, to a school there. We were then dumped there, and we had about an hour and a bit to mess around and basically wait for the start of the race, which was all fine. And then just around, I think, half an hour before the start of the race, you're then kind of led to the start line. And there's like a final kind of corral before the start line where you're supposed to do basically the final toilet break, and then you walk to the start. And then what I was doing maybe half an hour before was starting to take this like little caffeine shot, which I think had about 200 mils of caffeine in it, and I was just sipping on that to start the race off, and then the whistle blew. And I noticed pretty rapidly, pretty suddenly, that my heart rate had shot up to 190. And I'm sure I'll do an overlay of my heart rate through the first hour or even two, but it was just way above anything I'd ever seen in racing before and in training, to which I'm pegging down to that strange caffeine shot with many other strange chemicals in it I got from, I think, a CVS the day before. So I knew pretty quickly that thanks to that shot, things were going to be pretty ropey later on. I felt okay at the time. I knew I was kind of hitting the right pace that I wanted to hit, but I was trying to pull back to try to get my heart rate to drop, and it just wasn't dropping at all.
Okay, we're about 10k in. It's a little bit hotter than I thought it was. Oh, my heart rate's going crazy. Pretty knackered, so I'm going to stop putting off. Taking a little bit more chill. Right, let's go. See you.
And yes, I think I want to say it's to about 15 kilometers. We were running through plenty of like aid stations for hydration as well, so taking sips. But then it's starting to get quite hot as well, a lot hotter than I think a lot of people were prepared for, which probably led to I just wasn't taking the time to hydrate properly, and that was my mistake. I should have slowed down more, but obviously you're just caught up with trying to keep up with everybody and keep on going, and hydration is the last thing it's the last thing you prioritize, when surely it should probably be the first thing you're prioritizing, especially in that heat as well. So kind of two issues we're building here: the massively high heart rate and slowly dehydrating, which, as you can imagine, basically just before halfway, it's starting getting pretty tough, really tough actually, and then kind of started to have stomach cramps, which just wouldn't go away, and it was rough.
Alright, we're 20 kilometers in. We're pretty knackered. Oh, that's stomach issues. Now it's time to get in more and chill to the end. Oh, the crowd's amazing.
I think quite quickly from that point I kind of was moving into what I call survival mode, where no longer time matters. The only thing I'm trying to do is just to keep going, really, and to just basically not walk, because once you walk it's pretty hard to start running again. So that meant for the next second half of the race felt really, really long, really, really painful, and not that fun. It was tough seeing everybody running past and thinking, God.
Right, we've got about 9k to go. It's gone kind of bad for us. Yeah, the aim of the game is just to not stop. Bit of survival mode and get to the end. I'll see you there.
So anyway, once I'd hit that survival mode, I really tried to focus on hydrating, eating, but to not go into too many details, things were just kind of flowing through me. And just spending far too much time in each of the portaloos, which there were plenty of, which was great to see as well. The race was set up very well, but it was a losing battle from that point. So I really just ground out the second half of the race. Didn't particularly enjoy it. Wasn't really paying attention to the crowd as much as I would have liked. The race was hard, but anyway, kept on pushing, and that's something I'm proud of as well, that I kept on pushing. I didn't give up. I kept on trying to run and get to the finish line.
Oh, right. 3 kilometers to the end. Walking a little bit.
Nice job.
Oh, right. Let's focus on the end here. Alright, let's go.
It's been a wonderful day. Started early. We've been up with this.
And yeah, eventually reached end, I think something like 3 hours 22. And considering my PB is 2:45, it's a way off where I wanted to be, which was definitely sub 3 hours. But anyway, it's kind of sad, but the only thing that only source of motivation I could get from was the fact that there were other people in much worse positions, much worse situations than me. But yeah, it was just crazy. Loads of people passed out on the side. The med tents were busy as well, and there were pretty much med tents every mile. So yeah, it just goes to show, lots of people in wheelchairs. Yeah, it was kind of scary in a way. It makes you think, okay, I better really, really focus. Forget the race, just focus on getting to the end without hurting myself, and putting myself into precarious situation, you could say. But yeah, I don't know, looking back, very happy. It was an incredible experience. It wasn't a particularly fun experience, but it was definitely an incredible experience. The crowd was super as well, and yeah, some lessons were learned. First lesson, don't take anything that you haven't taken on race day. Should have known this before, but you know, you make the same mistakes again sometimes. So, well, that's been kind of reinforced, especially things with strange chemicals called the 5-hour energy shot, which I guess it worked. It shot up my heart rate, but in a long distance endurance race, you don't want your heart rate to be too high. Anyway, and yeah. Secondly, focus on hydration. Take the aid station slow, because even if you take a few seconds more to have a proper sip, and a proper gulp, rather than just a few sips, it'll really help. I just could tell when my stomach just went like that I really wasn't putting enough into it, and I was getting too dehydrated. And once it kind of cramps, it's pretty much impossible without walking for half an hour to kind of help it expand and to stop the cramps. So those were some important lessons learned, I guess. What a good takeaway as well is I'm just excited. I'm excited. This is a baseline for the rest of the marathons for the rest of the year. So I'm looking forward. I've got a few more marathons lined up: Ballarat Marathon, Melbourne Marathon, and ultras as well. So it's a good baseline to see if I can really start dropping or getting close to my PB again, and hopefully one day dropping it a little bit. My plan going forwards is to incorporate more that kind of like speedy marathon work into my long distance training, just because time's fine. I don't want to be running for 5 hours a day to train. So I think a good alternative will be to have more intense training periods of going faster in a certain amount of time to build that fitness, and to really build that long distance endurance is through racing rather than long distance training. So that's the plan. What can I say? I'm in New York at the moment and had a bit of a celebration, and now it's time to enjoy the rest of my holiday. So I'll see you back in Australia.
So I'm on my way back home now, but I really wanted to leave one last parting message before I end this video, and that's this. Yes, the race was frankly a disaster. It didn't go as planned. But I tell you what, I have no regrets. I've got some incredible memories. I spent some fantastic time with my parents. So the main message is this. If you're thinking of getting into running or signing up to a marathon, just do it, because I promise you won't regret it. And with that, cheers, and have a good one.
So what did you just say to me, Gatsby?
I may have had to walk a little bit of it. I think the first time ever.
What was your time?
I don't know, 3:25? 3:22.
That's alright.
Which was... The first half was good.
It's so super busy.
Yeah, I think it just wasn't my day really. And it was hot, and it's a lot hillier than I thought it would be. You're either going up or downhill.
You're probably not as fit as you have been.
No, he's fit enough.
I think I was fit enough, it didn't really work out for me. But it's fine. I've got many more marathons this
Did you
year.
enjoy it?
No, not really.
Okay.
It's hard to enjoy it when your stomach is literally so cramped that you can barely run. But I feel better now.
That wind's not up. It's been windy all the time.